Good morning. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Happy Sunday morning. I hope everyone is well. I am Lori of Interior Jewels, where I create floral designs, wreaths, and home decor. I'm here on my page as well as presenting in the Divas Get Crafty group for the first time. I'm so excited. There's going to be a day-long worth of presenters for you. Every hour on the hour will be a new artist doing a project. So how fun is that? You're going to get to see some great things. I'm kicking it off here at 10. I know after me is Teresa of Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art. I'm sure she'll be painting something fabulous. Today's theme is fall, so everyone will be doing a fall item. I'm just trying to get this up on my screen here. Give me 1 second and see that this is working. Hi, Christy. How are you? Good morning. Perfect. Now I know it's working. You know, I struggle sometimes with technology. So far, so good. So as I said, today's theme is fall. I haven't been on live for a while, but the last time I think I was showing, prepping some of my items for my fall designs. And that's what I'm actually going to be designing on today. My first project is this cool pumpkin. I know it's probably kind of hard to see on this because it's a see-through design. This is a metal pumpkin which sort of folds. So after you're not displaying this for the fall, you can sort of fold it up. It makes it easy for storage. But I had already started prepping this and put my, if you're familiar with gaps and cracks, my gaps and cracks is down here, and I'm covering it now with sphagnum moss. The gaps and cracks is a great medium to use. It's one of my favorites as opposed to using floral foam, because when you spray that on, it also adheres to the item that you're making it on. As opposed to if you use floral foam, you have to attach it some way, whether you're going to glue it, you're going to zip tie it, and sometimes it's not as strong as I like it to be. So gaps and cracks is my favorite go-to. So I have that on there. I am now covering it with a little bit of sphagnum moss. Hey Teresa, how are you? I saw you earlier. You're a busy woman this morning. I've already told everyone that you're up after me in the Divas Get Crafty group. And I'm sure you're gonna be painting something fun. So here's this sphagnum moss. I just cover this. Again, this is to cover the mechanics so that when I put the florals in, you're not seeing any of that gaps and cracks. And to secure that, I use the U-shaped floral foam pins. Just stick that in there, holds it in place so that it doesn't move. I'll put one more in here. And again, the theme today obviously is fall. So I'm working on a pumpkin. And I'm going to do a floral arrangement down here, and I think I'm going to put a bow on top. Many times I put the bow within the florals, but I think I'm going to put the bow on top and have tails hanging down. Again, it's my idea. Sometimes as you're working on something, it evolves and it changes, and you just never know. These are the colors that I've chosen for this. So pretty, soft peaches, oranges. There's some leaves in here. So I have these bushes. And you know, I have different people who watch on my page. Some of my lovely followers love a beautifully finished product that they like to purchase, and I'm so appreciative of them. Other people want to learn, and I like to teach too. So I always give up my tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, and many times I learn them from other people that I watch. That's why we give those tips and tricks away, because we like to share them. And one of them is this. This is a bush of flowers, faux flowers, silk flowers. And I start cutting off these individual pieces, and this is what's going to become of my floral design. But this is called a pusher, which means you can literally push up the pieces on this, depending upon what kind of design you're putting it in. I want these cut short because this is going to be a low arrangement of florals. So I'm going to push them all up to the top, which gives all the fullness at the top of the stem. If I were doing a tall arrangement, I may want to leave them spaced out like that. So just a little tip there when you're looking at your stems in the store, you can say, ooh, are these pushers? Love the pushers. So I'm going to cut off each individual stem here. And these are what my design is going to be made of. And I'm pushing them all the way up to the top because, again, this is going to be a low arrangement. This will be a great centerpiece. This would be a great piece to put on if you had a big kitchen island. Very cool. I was just walking out in the yard. You know, I always have my coffee in the yard in the morning. I try and sit in a different place every time. But I noticed my husband already put pumpkins in our garden. Not real ones, faux ones. He absolutely loves fall. His birthday is in October, and I think he grew up thinking that all the hoopla around fall and Halloween and decorating was for him. I don't know if that is true or not, but he absolutely loves decorating for fall. And I'm like, can we please not rush it? Because I am a summer person through and through. And I don't want to rush it. I was enjoying a birthday week last week, so I was sort of out and about every day, and I really hadn't caught up on projects, but I gave myself permission to do that, but I was beaching it every day. The weather was gorgeous, hot actually, hot. And for any of those that may not, I'm from Long Island, just in case anybody's watching from Divas Get Crafty. Long Island, New York, we are surrounded with beautiful beaches. So if you're not from around here, let me know where you're from. Okay. So I've cut these. Now I am going to glue them, and I'm going to start on my design. And this gaps and cracks is, it's like a styrofoam consistency. So the stems go in there very easily. Much like a, what a floral foam would be for those of you that are used to working with floral foam. I like to put these, and again with those pushers, I push them all the way up to the end, and these wispy little grasses. I don't always know the name of all of these things, but I always like to add a little bit of wispiness to my design. And it gives it a little bit of height. Okay, let's add some more florals. What does everyone have planned for this Sunday? Hopefully you're going to be beaching it or in the pool relaxing, where you can tune in to Divas Get Crafty, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of presenters, give you some great ideas. I'm thinking of the next thing that we will be decorating for, which is fall. School will be starting before you know it. I have my grandson with me, and I asked him, oh, school is going to be starting soon. Are you excited? He's going into 3rd grade. And I think he thinks it's cool to say, no, I'm not excited. But I think he's very excited. At that age, you can't wait to get back there and see your friends. And although he's had a great time at summer camp. See now how it starts to fill in? And I'm going to continue to build on that. Put my florals in. And I have some wheat here too. I think I'm going to add some of this. And make sure you take off your tags. These are my biggest pet peeve. I can't stand these tags. Yeah, I'm going to add some of this wheat. Again, gives height. as much as I'm not looking forward to fall coming, I have to say fall decor and fall colors are gorgeous. Although this is a lighter palette that I'm going with today, but many of the fall colors are those jewel tones, which are just rich and beautiful and look good in any setting, on any skin tone, for those of you who love jewel tones in fashion. I love the coppers, the golds. I'm a sparkly chick too. I love anything that sparkles. Sometimes my stems are not sturdy enough to go into the holes. So what I'll give you another tip and trick. What I do, I'm just cutting off the end of that. What I do is take a skewer, make myself a hole, keep the skewer there so I know where I make the hole. Put the glue on my stem that may be a little too flimsy to stick in there, and as I take out the skewer that I made the hole, it goes right in. Another tip and trick. A tip and trick. Let me open this. This makes it easy for designing too, because this is like an accordion. Very cool. I know it's early. I am usually never on live at this time. I'm usually the evening kind of person. I would still be sitting out there having my coffee. It's a beautiful day out again. Hot. My grandson is going to want to be in that pool again. So I'm sure I will be in there swimming with him. And again, you keep adding these until you have I said I wanted it a shorter, more compact design. But you got to keep standing back and looking at it and making sure you have the shape that you want. I have glue stuck to me. Hopefully we don't get any glue burns today. I'm going to put one of these in the top. So as I said with this Steve is Get Crafty, they will be on all day. So if you're lounging by the pool, on the deck, on the beach, you'll get to tune in and say, "Morning, Marie, how are you?" I was just asking what people are doing today. Are you staying home and relaxing? Are you heading to the beach, the water, anywhere? I'm gonna put another. Now these wheat that I added in, I'm not really a rule follower, but the rule of 3 is a good rule to follow only because it is visually appealing. So I like to stay in those odd numbers, and I already know that these stems are not sturdy, so I'm going to use the trick that I told you with making the hole with my skewer so that I know I'll be able to get this in. I see where I put my other 2 wheat stems. I'm going to put a third in, which sort of makes a triangle. Again, visually appealing. I'm going to cut this. And it just gives a balanced design when you're finished. I need another glue stick. What would we do without our glue guns? Okay, so I made the hole with my skewer. That's going to fit right in there. And I don't know if you can see up close, but I have those 3, which made sort of a triangle. That's the rule of 3s. I'm going to cut up my, oh, I have this little wheat. I'm going to put this in there. Momo's in Bayport. Oh, live music. That's my second favorite thing. If I could be near the water and hear live music, that's the best. Oh, good for you. What time are they playing? That's so nice and local too, Marie. Love that. I love my Lazy Susan too. So I can keep turning this and seeing where I have spots to put more in. So I'm gonna cut up my next bush. Oh, look at that. I'm missing a head on that. That's another thing that's important when you're shopping for your florals. Check the entire bush to make sure that nothing is missing. To me, there's nothing worse than getting this home and you think you have, 5 or 6 blooms on this and you're missing some. Howdy there. How are you? Good morning. Happy Sunday. Good morning, Kimberly. Oh, thank you. This is actually a fun project to work on. I don't know. I am given an hour time here, an hour time slot, if you will. And again, as I said, it's my first time presenting in Ziva's Get Crafty, so I've never been timed before. It sort of makes me a little nervous. So I don't think that this is going to take me an hour, and I have another project here, so we'll see if I get that, if I get to that. But again, everything is fall themed. 1 to 3 or 5, not sure. You're going at 2. Well, that sounds like so much fun, Marie. If I didn't have my grandson, I may have stopped down there. But I have him today, so I think today is going to be a pool day. We were out yesterday. These nice big buds, or blooms, they're mums, really fill a lot of space visually. So now I'm looking around, seeing what is empty here, but see how it just filled up the inside of this? Gorgeous. I think I'm going to add some greens now. You know what? I may add a little bit of ivy. I love ivy. Spilling out over the side. Put that in on top. Last time I was to Momo's in Bayport, Marie, was years ago when a friend of mine was playing there. I have not been there. My daughter talks a lot of that place in Holbrook. But I have not been to Bayport in a long time. And again, the greens, I don't know if you can see that. Fill in those spots. I'm going to get some on the bottom here. And as I was telling you with pushers before, these are not pushers. So where the leaves are on the stem, they stay. You can't move those. And that's okay. It's just showing you the difference between the different types of stems and the florals that are on them. I'll put this in the bottom. I like to do trailing down greens as well. It makes it look more natural. Because even though we're dealing with artificial florals, I like it to look as natural as possible. Sometimes that works. I was going to say sometimes it doesn't. That's not true. It always works. The goal of doing a faux piece is to make it look as natural as possible. That's what gives it that high-end look. I'm just going to keep going around the base here and adding my ivy. I was just cutting real ivy in my garden. I have so much ivy growing out there, which is gorgeous. And anytime I do cuttings to make a bouquet or a vase full of florals, I always cut the sprigs of ivy and add that to it. And I have one in my bathroom that I just have ivy sprigs in. They're so pretty. Again, just to give you a close-up look to see how this is coming along. Problem with dealing with glue is you get glue all over your fingers and then everything sticks to you. Okay, you know what? I have another green bush here. And I'm going to add a few of these greens too. Now this is a pusher again. I'm going to show you what a pusher. Oh, wait, I have these fall ones. So I'll put these fall ones in first. I had 2 more here that I didn't add yet. one right there. And I think we'll put one right there. Oh, actually I have 3 of them. They were hiding under my ribbon. So I think I did 3 small bushes of florals in here, which filled it up completely. It was just the right amount. Whenever I'm doing a project, I pull my florals and my greens and try and guesstimate how much it's going to take. Sometimes it takes a little bit more, sometimes it takes a little bit less. And then I choose my ribbons after my florals for my bow so I can color coordinate. And like I said, sometimes the design completely changes as you're working on it. Okay, I think that's looking good, but I am going to add some greens. And these are those pushers. So I could push this. I could get more than one. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this in half, push these up so I get 2 stems of green. Put a little bit of glue there so it doesn't slide down. I'm going to cut this a little bit. And then putting the greens in adds again a lush look, but it also covers any of those spots where there are not florals and just fills it in nicely. Cut this a little bit, put my glue on, put one in here. Now since I have some on that side, again looking for balance, I'm going to put some on this side. I'm going to cut another stem of green. And since they're pushers, I'm going to push this down and I'm going to make this into 2 stems. If I was working on a bigger arrangement, I would push all of that up to the top because I would need more fullness. But this is a smaller design, so these little pieces fit in there perfect. Put some here. Again, since I'm pushing them up, I'm going to put some glue on the bottom so that they don't slide anymore. Cut this down to the length that I need. My clippers are my second most needed tool. My glue gun and my clippers. Give me a glue gun and clippers and I'm good to go. Hey Kath, how are you? Hey, I saw your message yesterday. I would love to go kayaking. Has anyone on here gone kayaking? I see Kathy's on here. She showed a picture of the kayak she went on. I've been saying that since last year, actually. I'm a little nervous that I may get in and tip over, but hey, what's the worst that can happen? I just don't like falling over into water that I can't see the bottom, and I know that that's what the water is, Kath. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more here, because I have a few bald spots. But I would love to go kayaking. The other thing that I wanted to try, although I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to do it, is the paddleboard. The one that you stand up on and row. Have you tried that, Kat? So relaxing. I thought it tipped, but you were good. See, I could picture you doing that purposely, and perfectly rather. And I know you said that you're an expert now, so nothing better than going with an expert. I'm gonna put one more here. Let me put some glue on the bottom of this pusher so it doesn't move. Glue on the bottom. Holy cow, it's another hot one today. It's starting to sweat down here. Okay, let's look at this. Move my pumpkin pieces here. One more spot I'm gonna fill in, and then we should be good. Don't get me wrong, I have tipped before. Oh, yeah, but now you're an expert, so you don't do that anymore now, right? It's all about balance, I suppose, right? I know that, what was I just saying? I wanted to try the paddleboard. That's all core strength, right? That you just got to stay upright and keep paddling yourself. I saw someone doing that at the ocean the other day, and he was way out there and there were waves. That had to be very difficult. I would think that if you're going to paddleboard, you want to be in a lake, you want to be in the bay, something that's not rough. And he was doing it in the ocean. So I would say that he was an expert. Kathy would just make me, exactly, Marie. And when you're with Kathy, there's a lot of laughing going on. I might buy a blow-up paddleboard next year. My friend has one yesterday. It was great. She kneeled on it. That's a good idea. You start with kneeling and I guess graduate to standing up, but a blow-up one? I never heard of a blow-up one. I don't think that that would be strong enough for me. I got some weight behind me. Okay, so can you see how full this is now? That was 3 stems of flowers and a little bit of greens in there. And look what a gorgeous piece. So now I'm going to make a bow that I think I'm going to put on the top here. And I picture the tails coming down. Yeah, Kath, that would be your goal. That would be quite funny now, wouldn't it? Let's see what... I think I'm going to use my burlap color. I have this gorgeous rust color and then a little plaid. So let's see what we can make with this. I have my... I'm going to use a pipe cleaner for this because this is how I will attach it to this. Many times for my bows, I use my cable ties. So we'll go over making a bow here. Simple, simple. If I get asked one question all the time, it's about making bows. And they're so simple, I think people make it more difficult than it has to be. Kath, I really need to come by your house and see all the, I know you did a lot of work on your house. Are you getting ready to take your son to school? I know that was your next big happening. You had a very busy summer this year. Okay, I'm going to start with this ribbon. I fold it in half to give myself a loop. This is what determines is going to be my loop size for my bow. I will hold it up to the project that I'm putting it on to make sure that that's a good size, which I think it is. And again, I want to have a tail sort of hanging down. So I'm going to make this a little bit, well, first I got my first loop. I'm going to twist it, make my second loop, pinch it between my fingers. I hold it up to make sure that the loops are the same size. Then I have my tail. I'm going to go, I have glue hanging all over me. On the 23rd, he goes back to school. All right, have you started buying everything that you need to buy? I know that there's a lot first year up at school. Okay, so I have my first 2 loops here with my tail, and I'm just going to build on top of this. I'm going to take my next ribbon, which is this gorgeous rust color. See what I said about those jewel tones? They're just so rich. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a loop. And I'm going to eyeball it for the one next to it. That's a little bit bigger, so I'll pull that down. That's about the same size. Get this one. I'm holding it between my fingers. Again, I'm holding it up to make sure that they're the same size. Cut my tail. I'm just holding it loosely in these fingers. This is not going to be a huge bow because this is not a huge, I don't want to cover the whole thing with ribbon. I just want this to be more of an accent. Then I'm going to take this skinny ribbon, and I'm sure most of you know, but the trick on having a good bow is that it needs to be wire edged ribbon, because that's what you can form into any shape. If it's not wire edged, it will not hold its shape. Think Amazon will come in handy, absolutely. You know, I feel like we have everything at our disposal now. Anytime you need something, just call up, it's there, many times the next day. So that's perfect. So there, I have my bow. I'm just gonna shape it a little bit. And you know what? I wanted a little bit longer tail, so I'm just gonna cut another piece. And I'm gonna put that on top just to have tail. I'm not making loops out of this. I'm just putting it on top, so I'm gonna have tails hanging. And then I'm gonna take my pipe cleaner. I'm gonna fold it in half so I know what the middle is. Put that around the bow. Make sure I have it in the middle. You can fold the bow in half to make sure that you have it in the middle. And I always say that because I had done it and tied it off where it was uneven and I had big loops on one side and not on the other. And then I twist, 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 twist. And then fluff out my bow. This is what's so nice about the wire edge ribbon. All you do is run your fingers down it and look at how pretty it just takes the shape. You would never be able to do that if it wasn't a wire edged ribbon. This has a very subtle glittery, iridescent, sparkly thread in it, which I like. I like to add that little bit of sparkly, and that's gonna go on there. And I have a little thing on top that I can attach this to. Sometimes we don't always have something that we can attach it to on our design, but I'm lucky to have that on this. Let's see where's the best. I think over here. Let's see. That up there. Hey Angie, how are you? Good morning on this beautiful Sunday. What do you have planned for this Sunday? Are you heading there to the beach? Oh, thank you. And what are we at? We're at 10:33. We got time. Okay, so now I tied this on and I keep twisting my pipe cleaner. Then I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna tuck in the ends so that you don't see that. That's on there very tight with the pipe cleaner. I don't need to use any glue. I'm gonna fluff this out. Let me get my pumpkin so that this comes down. And this is the look that I imagined. I wanted these tails hanging down right above the florals. And you know what? I think I'm gonna cut the edge of these. The edge of the ribbons, you can cut it in an angle, or, which I'm gonna do for this skinny ribbon. This is only an inch wide ribbon. So for that, I just cut it on an angle, which gives it a little finished look. Make sure you have nothing fraying. And for the thicker ribbon, I am going to cut this in a dovetail, which means I take the ribbon, I fold it in half, I cut from the folded on an angle out toward the wired edge. And that gives you that little triangle, which is called a dovetail. And it just makes it look finished. So we got that one. The little ones we only cut on an angle. They're really too little to make a dovetail, which is why I do that. Let's see, do we have everyone? this one. Again, cutting from the folded edge out to the wired edge on an angle, and it gives you that dovetail. Oh, I screwed that one up a little. Let me give that another cut. Okay. So I have them, I did that purposely. I have them shorter on this side and longer on this side. I like it sort of to cascade down and have this come and have the shorter ones stand up. Sort of fills in the bow more. Hey Tree, how are you? Thank you. Happy Sunday to you. Are you getting ready to have a pool day? I have Justin here. I'm sure we're gonna have a pool day. I said, Justin, I need to do a live for an hour. Of course, he's not upset. He's in front of the TV. But then we will be in the pool. Let's put these, okay. We are finished with this one. What do you think? And you can see the bow. This would look gorgeous in the middle of a table. As I said, on a large kitchen island. If you had a buffet, a sideboard that you decorate like I do. I have a whole sideboard that I decorate for the holidays. So that's very pretty. All right, I'm debating whether I should start my second project. And you know what? I think I will. This is one. I'm going to put this to the side. This was my first fall centerpiece of this. I'm going to put that down here. The next piece I'm working on is this fabulous cornucopia. This has a large opening. Again, this is prepped. This has the gaps and cracks sprayed in there with sphagnum moss over it. And this becomes my base to put my florals in. I have things here. I have leaves in orange. Again, I don't know the names of many of these. I thought that these are really cool. They're textural. I love the color, but I don't know what they're called. And it doesn't say on there. I have these. My idea was I wanted to give this more of a little boho look. This pumpkin spray I have in here is going to go in there as well. And my favorite piece is these pampas grasses. So cool. This is what made me think of boho. So I'm going to start on these. I don't know if I will get, yes, on a dessert bar, Christy. That would be awesome. So I'm going to start on this. Let me see if I could put this on my Lazy Susan as well. You know what? I think I'll just go like that. I can give myself a timer here. I have 20 minutes. I'm going to start with my pampas grass because my idea is having a tall design here and spilling down this way, sort of in an angle. So let's see how quick we can do this. As I said, my pet peeves are these tags that sometimes are difficult to get off. You think you cut it off and it leaves part of the sticker on, and you don't ever want that showing in your design. And oh my Lord, is it hot. I need a fan down here. I think I tried that once and the fan was so loud people couldn't hear me. Okay, I have both these colors, so I'm going to remember what I said before about the groups of 3. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not going to cut these down. I'm going to see how the height of these goes. Let's see. That one. These are a pretty sturdy stem. Nope. I gotta cut it a little bit. Oh, and I got glue on my hands that sticks to this sphagnum moss, which is a pain in the neck. Remember what I said before, when you have a hard time getting into the foam sometimes? I will use my skewer to make a hole. Keep the skewer there so I know where it is when I go to put this in. Let's see. See, sometimes it doesn't always go according to plan. Just got to roll with it. Just got to roll with it. And as I take that skewer out, there's a hole there that this goes right into. Perfect. Okay. That's the height that I'm looking for. Okay, with just that in it, can you imagine what the design is going to look like? No. Now these I'm going to have a little bit lower. I think I'm going to cut this off a little bit. And since I had a problem getting it in, I'm going to go with the skewer again. Sometimes that gaps and cracks is a little harder than what you expect. So long as I make the hole with my skewer, I'm okay. I take the skewer out and I put my stem in the same hole. And it fits right in. Perfect. I'm going to put the other one in here. Wow, this is a hard one. Yikes. Oh, thanks, Ange. Have you used pampas grass? I love pampas grass. And the color of this cornucopia too, I don't know, I sort of felt a boho vibe going on. So that was my thought process. That's been a very popular design trend. There we go. See, got my group of 3. Now I'm going to fill this in with these funky things. Oh, and I have some cool cattails too. So let's start with my leaves. These definitely are flimsier leaves, so I need to use my skewer to make my hole, put my glue on my stem, and get that in there. And the color of these leaves are beautiful. Who doesn't love fall colors? I mean, really stunning. And I think I'm going to put some of that green ivy in as well. So I love the ivy spilling over. See how that just starts to fill in so pretty? Make the hole with my skewer. And that wispiness of the pampas grass, I really try and always have something a little wispy. Wow, I'm not sure why this gaps and cracks is so much. I didn't have a problem with the other one. There, when I make the hole with this skewer, then that goes right in. And see how it's filling in? And we'll just, I'm going to do some green as well. Some green ivy coming out the bottom. Like I said, I feel like I am on a timer now, challenging myself. Perfect. See how the ivy comes bottom? Again, looking for those things hanging over the edge of your container, which give you more of a natural look. Make this one a little bit longer. I'm going to have that come down over there. Make my hole. This is an extra step. Wouldn't normally. I didn't hot glue the moss, Angie. I used floral pins. And the reason why I don't do that I don't glue it down, is sometimes there's so much glue on there that I have a hard time getting my stems in. So I just did that with floral foam. And by the way, I have another tip that someone showed me. Donna from On a Whim, if you happen to see this, thank you so much. This is one of the stems left over from a floral bush after I've cut it off. So these are wired. I will cut these off and make these a U shape. And I can stick my moss in. I can also put these on the back of my bows to stick those into my thing. Thought this was a great tip. Okay, I am going to, which way should I go with this? This way. You know what? I think I'm gonna go down with the pumpkin one, and I'm picturing my bow going over here because this is gonna have a bow as well. Yes, Ange. See? You know all those tips and tricks for those floral designs. All right, and I don't think I'm gonna cut this. I think I'll be okay putting this in. Let's see. And this is a sturdy stem, so I shouldn't have to pre-make a hole. Let's see. See that with the pumpkins filled in? I'm gonna put some of these now. I'm continuing to add. Many times I'll do my bow first to see where I want that placed, but I think I'm just gonna keep adding these. Yes, hairpin them. Great. Oh, hairpin. Didn't think of that. Good tip. Angie has great floral design tips and does beautiful floral designs herself. This may not be a finished product by the end, but I will be sure to show pictures of these. As a chainmail artist, I have been learning new things from you today. I may even try making Christmas centerpieces. Oh, I have to say that one of the things that I love to do is inspire. So, I hope that you do, Christy. And if you do, please share, because that would be exciting to me. Very exciting. And it's not hard to do. And especially Christmas ones. You go out and buy any of the stems with the Christmas greenery, you know, the pine leaves, or the long pine branches, they take up a lot of space. So you just fill that with greens and add a few, you know, whether it's a bow, maybe a few florals. No hairpin shape the wire for the makeshift floral pin. I hope you thought that that was good, Angie. I love that thing because, again, you have so many of these. I'm going to actually use that in this because when I make my bow, well, I need something to attach it to. So I'll be using one of these nubs, as they're called. Okay, let's do a few more of these. What are we on time? 48. I only have 10 minutes. I don't think that I'm going to get this finished, people, but it gives you a good idea of the start. And like I said, I will be taking finished photos and be able to show them. So please check back to my page. But see how nice it's filling in? And again, my bow is going to go up here. You know what? Let me do the bow. I'm thinking this bow, this, and a little bit of blingy. What do you think? I do just like I did before. Okay, let's start with the thicker one. This is a 2.5 inch bow. Again, I started by folding it to determine the size of my loop. I think I'm going to make that a little bigger. And again, this is wire edged ribbon. That's going to be the only thing that holds a shape for you. That looks like a good size. This ribbon, again, is the same on both sides, so I'm not going to twist it. I'm holding this loosely in my fingers. Hold the two tails up to make sure that they are the same size. Cut my tail. Then I'm going to go with the burlap. Again, this is the same on both sides, so I'm not twisting. Once I have a loop there, I'm just eyeballing to make sure it's the same size as that. Cut my tail. Now I have 2 loops on each side. And you know what? I think I'm going to do one more of this. And then I'll finish off with my skinny one. And I just try and point it in a little bit different direction. So pull this over here so it gets fuller. Make my loop again, same size as the one next to it. Cut my tail, and then I'm gonna do that skinny gold ribbon again. Love me some bling. Aw, thank you, Angie. You do pretty good on your bows as well. I was watching you and Teresa do those bows. You are a very good teacher, Angie. Ah, I'm okay, Christy. Yeah, Teresa is up next after me. She may get a little upset if I go over my time. No, I'm only kidding. I love Teresa, and hopefully all of you tune in to see Teresa next. I'm sure she's going to be painting something fabulous. And I'm going to do a few loops of this, not just 2. Do another loop. And again, I just hold this loosely in my fingers, do my loops, and here we go. Lightly fluff. I am going to use a cable tie for this. So I take that around the middle, put that in here, start pulling it. Make sure that I am in the center, even if you have to fold your bow to make sure that you have it in the center. And before I tighten it all the way, as I just said to Angie, let me see if this is even long enough. Yeah, this should be long enough. I take one of my nubs that I've cut off my floral bushes. I make a little hook on top so it becomes that shape. Put that into my cable tie. Then I will pull it tight. So now that hook becomes fixed there, and that's what's going to stick into my design. I'm going to cut off that piece of the cable tie, and I have my bow. Let me fluff a little bit. I love the golds in this. And put a little bit of glue on the bottom of my nub here. And this is what I'm gonna stick into my... I wanted to put the bow in now so I can determine where else I need flowers to fill in. So, because see, this takes up a lot of visual space. And I don't want to necessarily cover all my florals. I want my tails coming over to the side. You can turn this a little bit so it's not covering my pumpkin. And again, with those wire-edged ribbons. And now on this one, I did before where I said I dovetailed. I am just going to cut these on an angle. Finish them off, cut them on an angle. No dovetail on this one. On an angle. On an angle. On an angle. Now I just want to show you up close. Look at how much space that took in. I am going to continue to add more greens here, leaves coming up so that they're in between these pampas grasses. But I wanted you to see with the bow. This is going to be a gorgeous centerpiece as well. And for anyone watching, if anyone is interested, please private message me, or if you have any questions on how to create, I'm happy to answer that as well. I'm going to keep going here until my time is up. with my little spiky orange things here that I have no idea what the name of them are. It's okay. I don't need to know the name. I just need to know that they are pretty. I'm gonna get, oh, my cattails. Forgot about these cattails. Now these cattails are pushes as well. So you can push those all the way up. I wanted to get some height up here in between these pampas grasses. So let's see. Oh, thank you so much for following. I appreciate it. And see how they just, again, I love adding wispies. Wispy anything just adds to the look, in my opinion, and makes it look more natural as well. And full. This in here, more wispies. And I'm gonna get some of these cattails in the middle next to my bow. As I said, for Divas Get Crafty, Teresa is up next with the Teresa Silhouette Spot for everything art. She's a fabulous painter. Oh, I love these cattails. Talk about adding texture. Love it. See, I knew approximately what I wanted to do in this design, but you never really know until you start and putting them in there what it looks like. Put this one in here and have them sticking out next to my bow. A little bit. Maybe one down here. Oh, where's my pusher on that? There we go. Put one over there. And again, I have some more greens to add in here, which I will continue to do. And I will take a final picture so you can see what it looks like. But see how you can see the cattails sticking out next to the bow? And the leaves coming out. I want to add some more leaves to add some more fullness to make it look as natural as possible. Loving these pampas grasses. And again, this will be a gorgeous large centerpiece for a table. That would look beautiful in any, and if you had this on the table with leaves sprinkled around it, maybe on a big tray. I love coming up with different ways to style things. I do make a lot of home decor pieces that are not necessarily florals. I love thrifting. I will find items to recreate, upcycle, redesign. I have some great old windows that I just got, old wood windows, and I'm gonna be doing floral designs on those windows for Christmas. How cool will that be? So I just love looking for different items. But again, that gives you an idea as to what this is gonna look like. Again, I'm gonna continue some finishing touches on this, and I will take pictures, and hopefully you're following my page where you can see those finished pictures, staged pictures. Taking good pictures is always important. And I had so much fun showing you all this and joining Divas Get Crafty for my first time. I was a little stressed there to begin with, being given a time frame, but it's all good. And I thank you all for joining in and watching with me. I truly appreciate it. And as I said, Teresa is up next. I'm not sure who's next to her. I did post the schedule on my page this morning or yesterday, so you can see who's up after Teresa. It's a new artist every hour on the hour. So have fun and watch that. Float around the pool, sit in your chair on the beach, be relaxing on the porch, the deck, and watch some crafting going on and get inspired. That's my goal, is to inspire. So I hope that I've inspired some of you, and I hope you enjoyed my designs. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day.